Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching my videos. My name is Robert and I'm a computer hobbyist. I'm not a professional by any means, so I offer advice to the best I know, and I always encourage for you to do your own research and uh, investigate in what you're trying to do, but I try to offer solid tips where I can. Today, I had the fortunate occasion to purchase an item off of local marketplace, and I had a very good experience. And it occurred to me that not everybody does have a great experience when it comes to purchasing things from individuals online. So I thought before I get into building another computer or putting the parts together of the things that I had from my other video and going through that, I wanted to stress the importance of being safe and how to properly handle a transaction when you're dealing with somebody that's a stranger that has something for sale online. So what we're doing today is I'm going to share with you the experience I had tonight on purchasing this. As a matter of fact, just for fun, I haven't even seen it yet, other than the pictures I saw online. I paid for it. I put it in my car. I visited with the gentleman that I bought it from. He had a very nice story about its origin and that. Basically, it's a computer case. I know that for sure. But I'm not sure exactly how good it is or how bad it is. I thought I paid a fair price for it, and that's the most important, a fair price for something that I wanted. And my expectations aren't terribly high, but they are I think I did a good job. So you can be the judge of that later. But first and foremost, let's talk about social marketplaces such as the big ones like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I'm not sure I can say those online. Nothing bad to say about those markets at all. But pardon me while I be my cameraman. But today, basically, I was looking for a computer case. If you saw my video from last week, I had this case here, which was the Cooler Master, and had a bunch of parts in it. And I paid a really good price. I got all those parts for cheap. Basically, I got my money's worth in just this power supply. This is a relatively new power supply. I've tested it. I know it works. It's very clean. There's no dust or debris or anything else on it as well. So I felt like that was a good value for what I had purchased at the time. Not everything you buy online is a good value. So we're going to talk about using your best judgment as far as buying things online as well. But first and foremost, your personal safety is more important than anything you do when it comes to purchasing anything online. And this applies to PC parts, home goods, car parts, anything you buy. There's a certain risk. And if you use a general guideline of safe interactions with people that are strangers, you'll be looking out for your own very best interest. First and foremost, I think the thing that attracts us to a marketplace item is the pictures. We go online, we see a thing, we've already sold that thing to ourselves if we like those pictures. There's two types of pictures. There's a picture that the gentleman or the lady that was selling the item took, or there's one that they have copied off the internet and posted it onto their post. Those are called stock photos, and there are real photos. If you see anything with a stock photo that shows a brand new item from a merchandiser or a retailer, if it's the first picture that you see for that advertisement, I recommend that you pass that up altogether, unless they have very good pictures of the used item that they're trying to sell in the same set. So I'm looking, I'm still getting used to my program here, and there's an opportunity for some people to step in. If they have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. But if I glance away, that's what I'm looking at. So you're more than welcome to ask any questions. And I'll try to address those as quick as I can. I don't want to make a terribly long video tonight, but I do get carried away and talk for some time. But okay, so tonight's purchase that I made, the gentleman had a computer case. He listed it for $50. The price on a used marketplace 95% of the times is negotiable, but don't necessarily be a low baller. If you go on to something that's $50 and you say, hey, I'll give you $20 for it, that's called low balling, and you're going to turn their interest into being a salesperson to you off. And if they feel if they feel like you're trying to just cut them short, then they'll be offended and they won't want to deal with you at all. And as far as your initial contact with someone of something that you've seen, don't just click, is this still available? Everybody does that. Me as a seller, when I sell things online, if somebody sends me that auto response of is this still available, I ignore it. That may be rude, and I apologize if it is, if you're truly interested in something I'm selling, but it's so generic. If you really are interested in a thing that you want to buy, ask questions, let them know you're interested. Um, be prepared to say no, which is perfectly fine, but also be prepared to work with the person that you're trying to buy from. On this occasion tonight, I said, uh, hello, sir. I'm Robert, and I'm interested in the item that you have for sale. Um, it's a good price, but I had noticed that it was just 15 minutes old when I saw it. That's a great thing. Try to get in on a thing for sale that's just listed. The sooner it's listed, the more of a chance you're going to have of being able to have an opportunity to buy it first. If something's been on for 2 or 3 weeks or 4 or 5 days and it just sounds too good to be true, it absolutely is. Just ignore it. No matter how, if it's a brand new car for $5,000 and it's been on for 15 weeks, there's always something wrong, or it's a scam, and we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. So I noticed it just been on, and I said, "Hey, if you want," I offered him. I said, "I'll give you $40 for your $50 item if you just want to go ahead and get a quick sale, not have to deal with a bunch of messages of people coming in asking you if it's still available, and we can do it now. I'm prepared to come for it right now. And according to the map, it shows where you're at. I'm very close. I can be there in 15 minutes." The gentleman responded to me and said, "Hey, that sounds like a great deal." He said, "I have to wait for about an hour. Can you meet me at a public place and we'll make that happen?" I said, "Absolutely. Thank you for your feedback and your consideration." And we talked to a few more things and worked it out, the exact time, location, whatnot. When you're buying something from somebody, it's very important that the location is a very public place. Tonight, we met at a gas station that is a very large gas station, lots of cameras, lots of people coming and going. That's safe for me. That's safe for the seller. There's cameras that are recording. I parked right in front of the store so that I could be seen and others could see me. And so, for him and me both to be there, it was just a safe place to be. If you happen to be a female and you are concerned about who you're dealing with online, take a friend. Absolutely take a friend. Take a couple friends. Or I've heard people recommend that having them meet you at a police station or in the proximity of a police station is a good place. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a good place after dark, but try to do your transactions during daylight hours if at all possible. Um, Otherwise, if it's not safe, it can always wait. So, that being said, once we'd established it, I was interested, I was willing to pay. He accepted my offer. Now, I offered to pay for it before I had seen it in person. Obviously, when you get somewhere and you've agreed to pay for something, it's a good thing to do to pay for it. But if it's not exactly as it's described online and it's different, or that the pictures didn't represent the item that they had for sale, that dismisses you of any obligation you have to buy something that you don't want. So there's a consideration there. The photographs I saw of this were three of this unit itself and one picture of it being online showing its retail price, which is a good strategy if you're a seller, and showing that it was about twice as much as what he was asking, a little more than twice as much what he was asking for it, but he also sold it as used. I'm looking forward to showing you this, and I will here shortly after we go over these few bullet points. But that contributed to the fact that, okay, it feels like this guy's legitimate. I also was able on the messaging to look at his profile. I saw a real person, and I saw a profile page that represented some history. There were some pictures. It If you ever come across a profile on a sales page other than perhaps Craigslist, it'd be kind of hard to. I think they have a rater for sellers now, a rating system. Either way, if it's on Facebook, for instance, there's some information available to you, and you can go and see if you see a profile, it's got one or two pictures, got 10 friends, and they've been on for 3 days, I steer clear of those. The majority of the time, I get uncomfortable feelings about those presentations because it feels like they're trying to sell you something. The very next red flag, absolutely do not pay for anything via electronic funds such as um, Cash App or Apple Pay or anything before you meet someone. If that's the only way you have to pay for something, make sure you don't pay for it until you can touch it, feel it, inspect it, know that it's worth the money that you're spending, and you're right in front of that person and you're able to make that deal happen. I prefer cash, absolutely cash. Never ever pay for something before you go to meet somebody. That is always a scam, no question about it. And just like the rule of if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. There's no question about it. There is a good value. You can get a good thing, you can save a little money, and you can be disappointed sometimes, but you can also uh, get ahead in the thing that you're trying to buy. But absolutely don't use any kind of electrical funding before you meet a person in person. And if that's your preference, then you can use that in real time. Um, let's see, I've got a little list here. We've talked about the seller profile. Look for a little bit of history on the seller themselves. If the price sounds too good to be true, make sure that you look into the item. If they don't show you the retail price for it, Google it. Google it. There's nothing you can't Google. If they don't give you the exact make and model number of the thing that you're looking at, um, if you use speculation, that's okay. But if you can find it, that's always good to know. Like, okay, this was $109 case at one time. It's been used. My general rule of thumb for something that's used is it usually, if it's in good, functional, proper order and not broken, it retains 50% of the original value. I actually got it for 40% of the original value, which I'm pretty happy with. So um, let's see. Um, do your research. That's good. Uh, Online Google, that we've covered that. Let's see. It's important. Don't buy anything online or agree to buy anything that just has stock photos. That does not represent the item that they're selling. And very few people sell something on a social media marketplace that's actually brand new. I try to lean away from ships to you kind of things. You just never know what you're going to get unless you're supported by something like eBay, where they have PayPal and you can be guaranteed that the item is or as was described and it's possible to get your money back. I would never buy anything that doesn't have its real photo. That being said, stock photos aren't any better than poorly taken photos. If somebody is taking a picture of a thing in the dark, and you can, if I got a picture of this with the cover that I didn't even know came with this, if I get a picture of this just like this, you have no idea what's underneath. There's no way to know what it looks like, what kind of condition it's in. And for the sake of this video, I don't even know right now, other than the pictures I've seen. But those pictures that the gentleman put online were clear. They were in well lit. They were of different angles, and there was 3 pictures that showed me all sides of this. And I was comfortable with, if it looks just like that, then it's a good deal. So steer away from stock photos. Poorly taken photos cover dirt and debris and rust and broken parts and missing parts. And you can't, when I'm buying PC parts, a general rule is I don't like to buy anything super, super dirty. That's abuse. PCs are necessary. It's necessary for PCs to be clean, to function properly. And there's a maintenance thing that you can do with them. Anytime you get a chance, you can take it apart, brush it down, vacuum it out, blow it out, air dust it, keep the materials and the dirts and wipe it down. And you can just keep it clean like anything else you would. So it's important to not necessarily trust the pictures, but the better the pictures are of the real item, the more possibilities are that you're going to have a good deal in that transaction. It's always okay to offer a little less than what they're asking. Try not to insult them by going half of what they're asking. If you think what they're asking is a fairly fair price, start by giving them the compliment of offering a little less. But like I said, I paid 40 for this after the gentleman agreed. He had asked for 50. He came down $10. I didn't have to negotiate anymore. It was quick. I think I appealed to him in the fact that, hey, let's get this done right now. I'll save you all the trouble of dealing with anybody else. He had the opportunity. I had the opportunity. We both thought it was a good deal, and it worked. So no other transaction should ever go less than that smoothly. If you're dealing with somebody that's beating you around the bush or turning you around in circles, and you're having to ask questions, or they're taking a long time to respond to you, all those are red flags. Use your best judgment when you're dealing with people online that have things for sale. Oh, I got so many messages on this and so many people. I'm trying to respond to everybody. That happens, especially when there's a good deal. That's why I can encourage you to try to act quickly when things are listed, and search for recently newly added, those kind of things. Anything you can do to get to be one of the first 10 or 15 or 20 people that can see that thing, your odds are better on getting that for yourself if you that's what you're interested in buying. Um, I also frown on when they copy and paste stock descriptions off a line. Oh, this graphics card is a six, a 7060 Ti or whatever, and it's 4 gigabytes of this and that. Now, if they've gone to the trouble to type out 5 or 6 lines of the details about those things, they're legitimate. But if they've copied and paste the manufacturer's recommended specifications and all the instructions, that's just lazy. You don't. You could look all that up. Do your own research. You could go find all the specs on the thing that you're looking at. As long as you got the model number and the make, you can do your own research. So, um, be careful about location. If they're offering you a thing, it's not always where you think they are based on their sales ad. Um, the Today on this looked like it was fairly close to my house, and the meetup location was exactly in the circle where it recommended that the location was. And this gentleman suggested a public place. I offered to come to him wherever he was, but in his best judgment, to meet in public is a good opportunity for him to be safe, and also for me as well. Um, if I don't recommend anybody go to anybody's house, it's just not good. It's a disadvantage for your own personal safety. You're in a place you've never been before, and you also don't know who you're dealing with. Always try to do your transactions in public. Um, all right, profiles. Just now is a good thing. If it came up, this was really new when I got it. No electrical funds. Be safe. Go public. Try to get somewhere in cameras. Do your research. Uh, the price online is not dead set because you're dealing with used items, and this avoid stock descriptions. Location's important. Be in public, and above all else, use your best judgment. Don't trust anybody any more than you have to when it comes to the transaction, because there are people out there that every day want to take advantage of you. Absolutely don't use electronic funds. Don't pay for anything to anybody before you are physically in person with that person. So that's the best advice I can give you for the purchase. I hope that those help you. And if you're under 18 or you're not quite an adult yet, always have a parent or guardian assist you in these matters. Make sure that your mom or dad goes with you. It's okay to be interested in the things you see online. Have an adult present. Make sure that safety in numbers. Don't ever try to negotiate these deals by yourself. Just always rely on somebody to be there for you. And even if you're an adult, it's absolutely okay to have a friend go with you, and safety in numbers for the most part. So all that being said, let's see an example of what you can do. You kind of know what I did. I offered the gentleman $10 more than he'd asked for this. It's a computer case. I needed this case because the case that I bought the other day in the huge pile of stuff that I bought for $25 had some issues. It had some positives and negatives. It turned out to be a case that had borrowed parts from another case, and so it wasn't quite as organized as I hoped it would be. And it also had some aftermarket parts as accessories that I didn't need or want. And so in the process of taking that case apart, and there again, I bought it expecting that I was going to get my value out of the other things. And I did. So the case is not a big loss. So today, my interest is buying another case. So when I showed up and the gentleman showed up, he presented this to me. The case with a black cloth cover, which is always awesome. Anytime somebody's selling you something that has the original container or the box or even the dust cover such as this, that is an attention to detail that gives you a little more assurance that what they're selling is legitimate. Now, in his advertisement, he didn't even show this in the pictures, but he had this with it. And this is an Eclipse P500A case, and this is the accessory case. And when I saw that, I was pretty happy. He told me, he said, well, this comes with it. And when you look in here, and this has not even been used. It's never been out of here. There's There's little bags for some front plates and I believe hard drive cases in here. And yep, so these are inserts for disk drives that you can put in the inside of the case. So now join me, and this is still went, not too bad, 20 minutes. I'm not going to make this much longer because I'm going to do something to look at. So this is the grand reveal of the case that I bought that I felt was a good deal. The transaction went smoothly. The gentleman was very quick and responsive to my messages. I made him a good deal. He made me a good deal. We met in the middle, met in public. Very pleasant man, and I'm thanking him for that. If he happens to ever see this video, I won't mention his name. That's personal, his privacy and mine. But he definitely made a very pleasant sale. And then every transaction you have like that should be this. So for this Phanteks case, which ironically has no fans in it, I understand, and he made it clear that the parts had been pulled out of this one to make another computer to upgrade to a different one. But I'm perfectly okay with this because all I need is the case, because I have all the other parts already from the other system. And here we go. Let's do a grand reveal. Let's get it up off the feet because it's just sitting on its own dust cover. All right, let's find out where that ends. And okay, oh, there it goes. And one thing is another thing too about cases. I like painted black cases. They're easier to clean and they're easier to spray paint, make them look brand new if they have little scratches or dust on them. White cases are fairly hard to fix like that. And the silver and gray ones, who wants to spend a lot of time trying to clean those up? So here we go. My brand new case, new to me, that I can't seem to get the dust cover out of. And it's hung up on the screws and I didn't have that rope like they do on brand new car reveals or a lovely model. Ta-da! All right. So it's exactly what it looked like in the pictures online. And that gives me a reassurance that he took the pictures himself. He didn't steal any pictures off the internet. And this is, it's better than I expected. I mean, it's very clean. There's not a dust collection. It could have been wiped down. The glass doesn't even have any fingerprints. Well, maybe a couple, probably mine. And then on a case, for instance, when a case is used, some of the plates here are missing, but I have things for this. I'm going to put a graphics card that'll take 2 of these in. And if I've got another room, I'm going to put a wireless card in here as well, but I can always move these to the other places to fill in the spots. There's only 3 of them missing. I can work with that. And here's for your I/O plate for your motherboard. That's missing. And then, of course, the power supply here. There's nothing wrong with that at all. As far as this other side, it's clean. There's no dents. It hasn't been mishandled. The screws to hold it in place are where they need to be. And so instinctively, when I saw this online, I said, it looks like a good case. I was considering buying a brand new case, but it's not cheap PC parts if you buy it brand new. It's retail. So if you can save money and have a case that looks this good for a $109 case I only paid $40 for, I think it did a good job. And as an added bonus, this has a complete front end here that's open behind this screen that could sustain a radiator. If I wanted to put a cooling system and a radiator in there, it's perfect. I believe there's room for 320 millimeter fans. There's plenty of room on the top. This has a removable, cleanable dust cover. And there's just a little bit of dust here, which obviously it's going to happen because it is used. But you've got room for 3, I believe, 120 millimeter fans as well. I haven't looked over the specs completely. But I like these little magnet dust covers because you can clean them up, wash them, put them back on, and that saves you a lot of trouble. The one thing about this case that kind of surprised me that I didn't realize was this has got a hinge door on it and a magnet system. You can open it up right away without having to take the side panel off. And you've got a window here. It's hinged, so you can pick this up and take it off. Let me show you that. So you just lift up on it, and it is off. But if you're trying to manage your computer on a daily basis and do something different, add a stick of memory, this and that, really is a cool thing to have this Uh-oh. Hang on. There we go. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so getting it back. And there. Perfect. But inside of this looks really good. It's clean. There's a little bit of dust, but I'm going to wipe that out, and it looks great. There's a place for the power supply. All the cords for the front ports and the USBs are all back here. They're where they appear to be. There's a little dust down in there, but I've got a little vacuum for that. But all in all, I think I did a pretty good job. Let me know what you think. I do see some solid state drive brackets here in the back. So if I have a solid state, I'm very fond of the M.2 cards on the motherboard themselves. So that's my preference. But I will use a solid state drive, SATA drive or whatnot, and throw it back there for extra support. These other brackets here, I believe these are for 3.5-inch floppies, such as this. This is one of the parts of the 25 bundle that I got. And it does say Vista. That is super easy to change. 250 gigabytes is a good volume for just the operating system. Not necessarily good for a whole bunch of games or whatever. But these brackets will support putting those in here. So my next video, I'll be doing some video. There's a USB 3.0. That's good. 3.0 anything is good. I'll be doing a video putting some parts in this for temporary. It's almost too nice to put in the old used parts that I have available, but I may do it anyway just for the time being, just for a demonstration. But so let me know what you think. Put your comments in there. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. There'll be more. I'll do a little video of putting this thing together and putting something in there temporarily with the spare parts that I have, just for funs and giggles. And then that next video will be coming up soon. Thank you for watching. Glad you're here. I'm always open to questions or comments. I will reply to absolutely every comment that's put on my video, to every single person, the best of my ability, until it gets overwhelming, and then I'll hire somebody to do it for me. No, I won't. No, I'm just kidding. The comments aren't overwhelming yet, and if they ever do, I'll do my very best to reach out to every one of you. But I appreciate you watching my video. Thank you for being here. And for now, this video is going to be over, and look forward to my next one. Thank you very much.